Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hot+keys podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything pop culture and random in the world. I'm your host, Mick. Today I'm joined by
Mick.
Michael.
And
Michael. Gosh, dang it.
welcome to
the only two
show,
options.
guys. So we have Colby, Wil, and Dave.
Hooray.
Landon is not here. We all remembered it, so
Yeah,
we're
we
good to
definitely
go.
all remembered. Totally didn't.
We show up today, right? And Wil and I waiting outside because we don't have a key. Mick had a key to get in so we could record today. Mick walks up and knocks on the door, and we're like, "What are you doing?"
I think Colby and I just look at each other really quick. We look at Michael.
Because I thought Mick was just like trying to make like a stupid.
I think
joke.
you said, "Why are you being stupid?"
Yeah.
or something. I was like,
I knew there was like a 20% chance that you were just joking, but
I'm just naturally stupid. I'm accidentally naturally stupid.
it's okay. We all are sometimes.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Well, Landon's not here," and so Mick's like, "Oh," and then he just like tries to walk in like the door was unlocked already. Like Landon would just leave his door unlocked all weekend for us.
Then I remembered the key
The key that you were given.
that I was given that I'm never giving back.
Oh,
You made
sad.
copies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Landon doesn't know that I like sneak into his house at night and just stare at him when he's sleeping. Like
He's never going to know
Yeah.
either because he doesn't listen. So
Yeah, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He sleeps weird.
He does.
I mean, he
sleep
does
really
sleep weird. He sleeps
That's
really
a true
weird.
statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
he sleeps on his stomach, right?
Yes,
On,
but
like,
his head
an
sticks
eighth
out
of
to
the
the side. Yeah. On an eighth
He
of the bed,
also
he sleeps
uses
like
a
a
drooler.
pencil, and then
Yeah.
he's wrapped like a mummy, kind of. So, and then his arms.
And
are
he
down by
snores.
his
I
side.
thought I slept weird.
Don't let him tell you otherwise. He snores.
I
He
sleep.
snores.
So I sleep on my side, but I kind of curl up. Like I kind of curl up like in a slight ball, so my head's like kind of in.
You're a fetal sleeper.
I'm a feel sleeper.
You're
yeah.
like an egg that's hatching.
Every morning.
Time to be born.
I'm a beautiful butterfly.
I'm a beautiful butterfly. That's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Dave, you like that movie, right?
I love A Bug's Life. Yeah, we saw that's. I remember the moment
classic.
Michael and I were sitting on the floor in our bedroom in our apartment in Okinawa, and my dad walked through the door holding the VHS of A Bug's Life, and Mick and I were so excited.
Applause.
Yes,
He was a hero that day. Our father.
he was. He brought it home.
Yep.
The date is May 14th, and you know what date May 14th is, right?
It's a couple days. It's 5 or 6 days after Mother's Day.
Yep, that's exactly
Yep.
what I was going for.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Mick?
I don't think he had anything.
I don't think he did either, dude.
I think he forgot the date and he was like, "You know what day it is? You know what
I'm
day
gonna look
it
up
is?"
every. Isn't it a thing like every
He says,
day
"You know what day it is?" Because I don't.
is like designated to something?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's enough things that every day is a day, but not all of them are actually like worthy.
Worthy, like Thor.
Or like
Thor.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Who?
You don't have to be worthy to be Doctor Strange. dude.
No, you don't have to be worthy to be
You
Doctor
just have to be
Strange.
like
So I can be Doctor Strange.
narcissist.
I could be Doctor Strange.
I mean, it seems like everybody could has the potential to be a sorcerer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just like at
That
the
is
end of
cool.
Episode 8 of Star Wars, everyone has the potential to be a Jedi.
Be a Skywalker.
I'm Ray.
Will
Broom boy.
Skywalker.
Skywalker. What?
Yeah. So speaking of Ray Skywalker, we're going to talk about
Star Wars
Multiverse
Episode
of
8.
Madness.
Oh, dang it.
I feel like it's like a must for our podcast to at least mention Star Wars Episode 8
Every once in a while.
at least every once in a while. Lately, it seems like every episode, but
I feel like it hasn't changed. I feel like we bring it up.
The listeners have to know what
Quite
we hate
often.
the most, collectively. So
Yeah. It is frustrating.
I hate those two movies.
okay, Multiverse of Madness. Before Mick gets on the hate train.
So what didn't you like about them, Michael?
Can we just talk about like how bad they are?
No.
How much they crapped on like everything.
So you're saying that killing like the most beloved characters randomly in your franchise doesn't work out?
No, I mean Yes, I'm agreeing with you. No, to it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Gosh,
No. We all watched the movie recently.
Refrain.
so
Self-control. Self-control.
self-control. Doctor Strange,
Uh-huh.
Multiverse of Madness. We've all had a chance to see it, so we're going to do a little spoiler talk of the movie.
Do you think that there's like an alternate universe and an alternate reality where episode 8 and 9 are good?
Yeah,
Gosh, dang it.
I want to live in that universe.
Yeah, there has to be.
I will search for the rest of my life
That's
to
the whole
find that.
reason.
Far and wide.
That's the whole reason Mick looks for America Chavez, so that he's like, please take me to a universe.
Show me a good episode 8 and 9.
That's all I want.
Turns out in every other
Yeah,
universe
she
they're
doesn't
bad too.
Yeah.
Just in different ways.
She doesn't know like how to take Mick to that universe, so like she gets scared and then they just teleport to him where like they're in the movie. Like now Mick has to like live out episode 8.
Except like Michael is General Hux. So like Michael's character is completely wasted.
Gosh, another character they freaking screwed up
Dude, they made it so easy to hate General Hux.
because he's a ginger.
What?
Colby's like, I take that personally.
Yeah.
He was like, he had such potential to be like Tarkin level, like, you know,
You may file when ready.
but then they made him just a slapstick joke.
Yeah. Especially in
I'm the spy.
I saw
then
Doctor
in, like-
Strange on Sunday.
I saw it the day of the premiere. It was pretty cool.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Was that Thursday?
We were in the same place but different locations.
I saw it first, so in your face.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
did you see it, Dave?
It was sometime this last week. I don't.
Oh.
It was not on Thursday. It was not on Friday. I think it was on a
So
Sunday.
you're late to the party.
Did we go see
Yeah.
it same day?
Wow.
I saw it on Mother's Day. You know,
Yeah, me too.
It's a
What
good
time?
Mother's Day movie.
I don't remember, Colby.
What if we were in the same theater?
I mean, Wanda is a mom that well,
So, you know,
not really.
No,
I would say
it's testimony
of a
to-
mother's love.
of a mother's love.
Complete genocide. Yep.
Oh, before we get too much into it, I wanted to say back to like days and holidays and stuff.
Mhm.
Did you guys know that in Spokane, Washington, April 28th is officially Paul McCartney Day?
Is that because he came here last?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh, that makes us look like such losers. We're
Mick,
if we have
Mick
to
looked
give it-
really offended. Mick was like super excited to share that.
Yeah,
if we have
it's stupid, isn't it?
if we have to give a day to a celebrity that's visited, it's like, oh man, we're desperate for something.
I mean, maybe
I know it's
Spokane
Paul
is.
McCartney, and I know it's cool, and I know
McCartney.
Paul McCartney's great, but it's like saying if I don't know. Imagine if somebody visited your house and you're like, well, today is the day I'll remember every year where you visit my house. It's like, ooh, that's a little weird.
I mean, if it's Paul McCartney, then that's not weird,
I mean,
right?
yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So Mick's
I
on
don't know about
board.
that, Chief.
Will's not. Colby? Colby's like, who's Paul McCartney?
I think it's cringe. I think it's pretty cringe.
One of my
Thanks, Colby.
one of my friends from high school is the one that wrote into the I don't know if it was like the mayor office or something, but she wrote in and was like, hey, we should
Make this a
make
national
this
holiday,
well, it's not a national holiday.
an international holiday.
It's not an
Do we get the hey? Let me ask you this: Do
What?
we get the day off work, April 28th?
depends on what day it is.
That it's not a real
If it's a
holiday.
Saturday, then yes. Saturday and Sundays, then yes.
It was a Thursday.
I think it says you have to listen to Paul McCartney songs all day long on April 28th.
So what's
Otherwise, you get arrested.
what's your go-to song?
Anything.
Simply having
that's
a
what I was gonna
wonderful
say.
Christmas time.
That's like a top 3 Christmas song.
Just kidding.
A lot of people hate that
I
song.
love that song. To raise a glass. Oh, don't look down.
Did any of you go see Paul McCartney?
I did
No.
not because I didn't know he was going to be in town.
I heard about it
Wow.
after he was.
You're like,
So yeah, hold on a second. Let's not just rush past.
If only they had a Paul McCartney day before, then I would have known.
So is he coming back on the 28th every year?
yeah, I bet he doesn't.
He has to
he
now.
doesn't.
It's
He has
law.
to.
It's law.
Yeah, that's also part of the law.
Do you think when he was told like, "Oh, today is Paul McCartney Day," was he probably like, "Ah, cool"? All right,
Actually-
never come back to this place again.
Actually, it's funny, Mick. It's
This is the birthplace of freaking Bing Crosby
and me.
Butthole.
Hey,
Oh.
Show it some
Colby
some
said-
respect.
And Father's Day. And Father's Day.
And
also.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
Father's Day was also born here.
And
Dude.
Hoop Fest.
And Hoop Fest.
It's actually-
boy, our claim to fame.
and the Lilac Parade. So shut
and
up.
Bloomsday.
No, Bloomsday sucks.
I've never done Bloomsday.
I did it once.
never
and
have
it was
either.
horrible.
For those of you that don't know Bloomsday,
No, don't explain it.
Yeah, okay.
They don't need to know.
They're imagining something like terrible, but it's just
It's like a 10K.
It's a
or like a
10K
7
or something
mile.
like that.
Mick, it is funny that you brought up like days because earlier this week I was thinking like this summer I think we should have Colby Day.
So is
Did
it kind
you
of like that Always Sunny episode where everybody has a
It's-
day
yeah.
and you have to do
No,
whatever?
no, that's
Well,
not
no,
what Colby
hang-
said.
hang on
Colby
a-
said
hang on a
Colby
second.
Day. He didn't say
Yeah,
all of us
yeah,
get
I
a
didn't
day.
say-
He just said
Yeah, I don't-
Hang on
Colby
a
Day.
second.
You just said I want Colby Day
Because we already have Mick and Colby Day.
Yeah, but this one's not about you. It's only about me.
I don't like that.
Well, it's not. It's like
It's either you or me or nothing.
making
Wow,
Colby Day.
that's an
2.
absolute.
I think we should have it in July, my birth month. We'll do it. We'll
Way
just,
to just slip in your birth month.
So
into the
so
conversation.
so you're gonna take your birthday, which is or your birth month or your birthday or whatever is the closest to it, which is already a day to celebrate you,
Mhm.
and turn it into Colby Day.
do you want to have
Yeah.
do you want to have Colby Day on July 21st?
no, because what? Like, just it'll be around. It'll be around my birthday, but it can't always be that day
Why?
because I want it to be a day full of activities, right? So if my day's on a Wednesday,
He wants double
Then-
double the reward. It's the classic like
no, I'm just saying like if my birthday's on a Wednesday, then we celebrate the following Saturday or
Take
something.
the day off.
All of us.
What do you want to happen on Colby Day? Like,
No, it's just
But I
your
don't-
day.
no,
you said it
no.
was just about you.
Yeah, but you guys have to like hang out with me. You
No,
guys
it
have
doesn't
to.
sound like it. You're like, no.
are
it's
you
just
paying
me.
for everything? Like, how do or are people buying things for you? Like, what is Colby
No,
Day?
it's neither that. Like it's just like
What are we gonna do?
I'm sure we start out with breakfast and then
We make you breakfast
probably
in bed.
yeah, and then probably a round of golf.
Who
and
pays for
then
golf?
Probably everybody individually.
Is this like a golf day? where you,
unless
like,
somebody is
you hit the
wants
tee?
to pay for me?
I mean,
you hit the
if-
tee out of our like mouth, or like we have the tee in our butt crack, and you swing the ball, and
what in the
like you're just torturing us the whole day at the golf.
no, this.
course.
Why are you guys trying to make me seem like a villain?
So okay,
Because
Colby,
only
this is a
villains
day. It's-
say we need to have a day that's named after me.
It's about
That's
me.
why.
Is there gonna be a statue erected in like Landon's house of you?
Colby
No,
Day.
no, I don't want to hear. I want the statue in my place.
Okay, so if this is a day to just like hang out or
Mhm.
something like that, I'm down for it. Like if it's just another hangout day where you plan the itinerary, like cool. I'm
Yeah,
down for that.
that's the thing though. It's stuff that like I want to do.
What do you?
But
wanna
Do we have any say in it?
I mean,
It doesn't.
you guys
sound
can
like
give
it.
me feedback, but like if
Are you going to listen to your people?
like okay, like what if we don't?
Are you a tyrant?
Are you
or
forcing
a
people to do these
benevolent
things
leader?
with you? Like, what if no one wants to do the things with you? Then, like, do you
Then
do
you
them
guys-
by
what if I
I
yourself?
can't get it off work.
That's why we're doing it on a Saturday.
So the 21st is a Saturday?
No, it's a Thursday.
I don't believe you.
I think you're lying.
Okay.
I still don't understand the purpose of this day.
It's to have fun.
It's
Is it
And-
to
and
give
cele-
Colby joy? Is that
It's-
what it is?
Yeah, it's to celebrate me.
At the cost of everyone else?
Do we have
No,
to-
it's not at the cost
Do we
of
have to
anybody.
bring like
This will
burnt
be fun.
offerings and
No, but I mean, I
Wear
always
sackcloth.
I
accept
will
it.
I will bleed
always
for you.
Are you dying or
Donations
something?
are
Is there
always
something we
open.
don't know about you? Like you're like,
Are you going to start giving away
This
all
is
your
just-
stuff?
This is Colby subtly trying to like do a Make-A-Wish or something like that. And all he wants to do is spend
have
one
breakfast
last day
and
with
play
his friends.
No, okay, but like, what if, like, I'm not gonna be like super bossy about what we do, but if it's like gonna be 100-something degrees that day because it's the middle of July,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, oh yeah, I actually don't want to go golfing.
Can we hang out in like an AC room?
Yes, then we wouldn't go golfing because I don't want to go golfing.
What if
And
we
I'm
wanna
sure
go golf?
almost everybody would be okay with that except for Jordan. You can't tell him we're gonna go golfing and then back out because I did it once and he still texts me to this day about golf, which I like golf. I want to go, but it's 40 degrees outside and raining. Okay, I'm not going.
so I have a lot of questions about Colby Day. Well, why
All
does
right,
this
Dave,
have to
ask
be
away.
a day? Why can't you just like
You're right. Why limit it to one day? Well, we
No,
could do a
that's not what I'm
weekend.
saying. I'm saying, I'm saying, why not just why not just do something that you want to do with your friends? Why do you have to like designate it as a Colby Day? Are you afraid that if you
he's
don't do
jealous of
this,
Paul McCartney.
that people won't? Are you afraid that if you don't designate a day, that people won't do things that you want to do at some point in
No, Dave.
the month of
I'm
July?
I'm hardly a man of fear. Okay. I just want to do a lot of things.
Well, then why do you have to designate it as a Colby Day? Why can't you just do the things and invite your friends?
Why are you anti Colby Day? You know what? Dave's not invited.
Because Colby Day sounds like a horrible idea.
Colby Day. Hey, on Colby Day, nobody's allowed to talk to Dave.
I'm
So
just
why
saying,
don't-
it seems like
until he apologizes.
So why don't we all get a day? Like, why don't we just all get a day?
Yeah, you can have a Will Day. I'm not.
Colby's like, I'm not going to be there, but
part of my wish on Colby Day is to not attend anybody else's day. So, and mine's happening first.
Wait, what if my wish on my day is not to attend your day?
Yeah, but mine happens first, so you don't. Get
How do you
that.
know? I want Will Day tomorrow.
No, you don't get Will Day. It has to be in your birth month.
Wait, what? Who made that rule?
Me, because mine's soon.
oh
Gosh
my
dang it.
goodness.
You know what I mean? Like if we want to go out to dinner, I choose where.
So
That's all,
this
like
this
little
more
things.
has to do with you think people don't respect you, and the only way to get people to do things you want to do is if you designate a day and you get them to agree to
force
follow
them to
you
hang out.
No,
and follow
that's
the
bad
rules
logic.
before
I
you
think all Colby is
designate
saying-
whatever
all Colby is
happens.
saying-
I
is
don't.
that
I don't
he's
think that
more
way. That's
intelligent.
bad logic because then nobody would respect me even more.
All Colby's trying to say is that he's more intelligent than us and can make decisions for us and thinks that he knows what's best for us.
Thank you.
Man, life would be so much easier.
Yeah, if I was the
Can you
leader,
just
of,
make my life
Colby life.
easy?
Trademark.
Yeah, you want Colby life?
Colby life.
It's also not like I'm gonna be wanting to do things that I know you guys don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like
So it's just people doing things they want to do.
basically.
Well, then why do you have to call it Colby Day? Like what? Like that is the thing.
Because
that-
he's a narcissist.
Okay. That's what I wanted. I just want Colby to say that. That's all I want.
I'm not a narcissist.
Only a narcissist would say that.
That is true.
Will,
Yeah.
I know you want out of Colby Day, so now you're forced to go.
Wait, hold on a second. Who said I wanted out of Colby Day?
You did?
Yeah, I could see it. You were like,
In my eyes.
well, you were like, what
No,
if
you
on
said
my
for
day
on your-
I have
on
to?
your
I
day.
wish that I don't have to go to Colby Day.
I was joking.
Were you though?
I don't
No.
Yeah. So let's see. Colby Day will be on. Look at the calendar real quick.
So
Yeah,
I
well,
thought
let's do
Doctor
the 23rd.
Strange
Let's do the
2
23rd.
I thought Doctor Strange
July
2
23rd, Colby Day.
felt an awful lot like other Sam Raimi movies, especially Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Are we going to watch Evil Dead 2 on Colby Day?
No, stop.
No, I don't want to.
The Last Jedi.
Who knew?
Jedi? Colby Day?
Maybe.
Gosh.
Okay,
So what I'm learning,
Multiverse of Madness.
Landon is the thing that keeps us all together, like that. Like he is the glue for the show. Like, is that
No,
what we're
like-
learning?
There's a chance that Landon would have sat here like staring off into space.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
He would have been sleeping on his stomach, drooling,
snoring.
and I'd get the urge to stand over him
Again.
and just watch.
Do you do that like at a certain time every night? Kind of like a routine?
It's
or
2 a.m. sharp.
2 a.m. sharp.
Yeah, I'm never late.
You have an alarm set.
I arrive precisely when I mean to.
How do you enter?
Through the door,
Okay.
because I have a key.
Yeah, that's not very exciting though.
Well, that's the story of my life.
Sometimes the most practical things are the creepiest.
Have any of you guys seen Evil Dead 2?
Like
or
a
Army of
cutting board.
Darkness?
A cutting board can be disturbing.
Dave's trying so hard. Dave's trying so hard to steer the direction towards like Doctor Strange. But for some reason, that's making me want to go away from it further. I'm like, no.
What would you do on Will Day?
Probably talk about Doctor Strange.
Will would probably want to have like
Wait,
4
that's in
meals.
December, though.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
we're
we-
going to add an extra meal.
Yeah.
Hey, are you calling me fat?
No, I'm saying that you love to eat, and if you don't eat, you're not happy. And so what makes you more happy
That's
than
quite
most
the
things is
exaggeration.
food.
I would say that's under exaggerated. If you don't eat, you're like pissed off.
Oh no.
Will's like everyone gets out of bed at 11 a.m. and then we have to eat 2 meals back to back because we skipped breakfast.
Oh,
You
man.
get angry. if you don't
Hangry,
eat.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a fault of mine. and I've been working on it. I've been trying to slowly.
You're definitely
get
getting better.
at it.
I remember a couple years ago, it was bad.
It's still pretty bad, unfortunately. Oh god,
I could tell. Like, Will called me before the podcast.
What did he call you?
He texted me before the podcast.
You're welcome, Mick.
to pick him up lunch because he didn't have time. Like, I knew it was like a crucial. Like, if I didn't get him lunch, like, the direction of this podcast could go anywhere.
Like now,
there's like a butterfly effect of like if Will doesn't eat lunch, and Will does eat lunch. Like
If
it just
Will-
splits off into
if
two.
Will
so it's like an
lunch,
The
alternate
branches of the
universe.
multiverse.
Kind of
Yeah.
like Doctor Strange 2,
Yeah,
which we've all seen.
yeah.
Can I
Which,
get real quick? Can I get everybody's emails after the show so I can send them an invite?
Stop it.
For Colby Day?
Colby.
What is wrong with you?
Okay. I think I'm ready to talk
Don't
about
ever
Doctor
say
Strange
E
2.
invite again.
I think I'm ready to talk about Doctor Strange 2 if you guys are. I'm ready.
I think Dave and I have been ready.
Colby, are you ready?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave, to answer your question from about like 10 minutes ago, I have not seen either Sam Raimi movies. The only Sam Raimi movies I've seen are Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2
Okay.
and Spider-Man 3
And Doctor Strange.
and Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness.
Michael, have you seen Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness?
No, I've not.
Okay, well.
Are you going to ask me?
I know you haven't seen either one of
Ask
those
me.
movies.
I have seen like clips though, so I can definitely see that there are a lot of similarities in his style from movie to movie. And even in this, in Multiverse of Madness, there were like almost direct type of shots that I'm like, I've seen that in Spider-Man. Like, oh, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
that's like a big thing that I wanted from this movie was to like see a Sam Raimi movie, and I think
Well, you
got
had a
it.
Sam Raimi movie with a Danny Elfman score too, so you had.
I was
the two.
actually I wasn't blown away by the score. I was kind of disappointed, but in terms of like his direction, you could really tell that it was his movie, and I think that they really let him like do what he wanted,
Run wild. Yeah.
which was such a breath of fresh air for a MCU movie.
I think this might be the most original MCU movie we've ever had. I think so.
What about Iron Man?
Yeah, the OG Iron Man.
That was the first one.
Well, okay.
Can't get more original than number.
So yeah, in your face, Will.
All right. Well, I guess what I was saying is just out the window.
Okay.
No, try it, Will.
Okay. So this is the most unique MCU movie we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue. It's basically kind of like a horror movie.
I would say it's definitely the most
horrific.
most horror type
the
of
terror.
movie in the MCU.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you even have, and this is getting into spoiler territory, so
I think we said we were
Spoilers.
going to spoil it.
cool.
Spoilers.
It's kind of cool that they have all of the really violent deaths really add a lot to the tone of the movie, I feel like.
Dude, the Black Bolt death was
Ooh.
so disturbing.
Man. Like when he screams and then the back of his head starts melting, I'm like,
Well, it happens so quick. It's like
One of the things I had noted was that battle between the possessed Wanda and the Illuminati, I thought was about as close to the boys as the MCU will probably ever get.
Yep.
we saw
very
like gruesome stuff, like the guy's head like imploding.
yeah.
We saw someone get cut in half and saw a lot of blood,
Yeah.
which I feel like you don't really see in PG-13 movies that much.
like the opening scene, Doctor Strange throws a lamppost into the eye of a giant squid and like it falls out.
Yeah.
Like it was just like
was pretty gruesome.
it set the tone. It set
And
the
also,
tone.
like, there's something about seeing Doctor Strange, even his multiversal, like, counterpart just gets stabbed through the heart or whatever. That's kind of like a little jarring, where it's like you see these heroes who they're superheroes. They save the day. The MCU has set a standard of
Yeah.
they're the good guy. They won't die.
Mhm.
And then like seeing them and seeing Doctor Strange just die in the beginning, and then seeing like the Illuminati, especially like Charles Xavier, all die, is like, oh man, like
Charles Xavier, would you like
Charles
breakfast?
Xavier was in the movie.
Specifically the one from the animated series. He had the same yellow chair.
Yeah.
And the song played like as he was
in the song.
wheeling out.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was.
Have you not seen the animated series?
Nope.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's kind of weird that they took like the Charles Xavier from the animated series and killed him brutally.
Yeah, he got his neck snapped,
Yeah.
Zod style.
And another thing that made me sad was the perfect casting, I feel like, for Fantastic Four, and he gets like cut to ribbons like string cheese.
I mean, I'm
But
assuming
you say
that
perfect
we're gonna
casting. Oh yeah, sorry, Mick. Go ahead.
I'm assuming we're gonna see like I'm guessing that like in like the 616 universe, which is
Earth
it's weird
Prime.
that they designated it as 616, but we can get to that later. But I'm assuming that like he'll be the Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movie coming up.
Yeah.
Which is like that's a pretty big get because I think he and Emily Blunt have been like for years now, like around the fan casting, like fans wanting them to be cast as Reed Richards and Sue Storm and
Michael Chiklis as the Thing.
Michael Chiklis. Yes.
Chiklis?
Michael Chiklis.
Who's Michael Chiklis?
He
Look him
played
up.
the Thing in the other.
Oh no!
Fantastic
And Chris
Four movies.
Evans back as
Yeah,
the Human
yeah.
Torch.
Flame on.
Yeah, so that was cool. That I did not expect that at all. That was like a legitimate surprise for me to see him in the movie. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, who knew that Wanda would be like one of the best MCU villains that we've gotten?
That was nuts. I was terrified of so many shots.
She was scary.
When she was like limping down the hallway and like her face was covered in blood/oil and she was like tearing through the hallway. I'm like, I'm legitimately scared right now. That's what I felt like.
And she was a good villain too because she was one of the type of villains that's sympathetic and you can understand why she's doing the things she's doing.
Especially with so much buildup from like WandaVision and all the other movies, how she's basically lost everything and everyone.
Yeah.
I think that the MCU should do that more to create long-term villains to make it so that we can understand, like, because that was the best villain in any MCU movie maybe ever. Thanos is also up there.
Dave's
gonna interject.
I might have like the dissenting opinion on
All right, shoot.
on this. I actually was not really sold on her as a villain.
What?
I thought her turn.
Did you see WandaVision?
I did see WandaVision. I really liked WandaVision.
Did you?
But I thought her
see
turn.
Infinity War and Endgame.
Did you see
Okay.
Ultron?
Did you see
I
Did you
thought
see Multiverse
Civil
of Madness?
War?
I thought her turn like to pure evil was like a little hard to swallow. And that was even knowing that the Darkhold can corrupt its readers.
Is a mother bear evil if it defends her children?
Dude.
What?
I think part of it too.
Answer the question.
I think part of it too is I don't think the Wanda kids are like very good acters, and so
No,
a lot
they're
of the
not.
emotional scenes it was really hard to take seriously.
We deserve ice cream.
really made it hard to take some of the scenes seriously with
that was like a big complaint I had in WandaVision too.
With the
was
kids.
their acting. Yeah.
I think there were less
Elizabeth Olsen,
stakes though with that because
sorry.
it wasn't her like murdering entire universes of people or all of the most of the wizards and stuff. Like I don't think she killed anyone in WandaVision, correct? Did she? Or she did. It
I
was
don't think
they were some bad person. So I mean, she kind of really goes from, because at the end of WandaVision too, like I feel like there is kind of a sense of hope and some kind of closure. Like, yes, she feels pain and everything, and like we experience that. I feel like a lot of the pain though we got from her from WandaVision had a lot to do with the loss of vision though also, and that is almost touched on zero at all in the movie. It's like 100% the kids.
Yeah.
And like such the big flip to that, to like where she becomes just this like insane like homicidal maniac who has basically infinite powers, it seems like in some scenes.
I think you have to just kind of.
Yeah, you do have to suspend.
I mean, it's hard, but you have to accept that like the Darkhold is a big proponent to that.
And
yeah,
also,
it just made it harder for me to, I guess, appreciate the film, I would say.
If you watch the ending of WandaVision and you rewatch the post-credit scene, there's a...
Are you talking about where she's floating there?
Yeah, where she's
Reading,
floating
yeah.
like with the Darkhold.
Yeah.
I think that Wanda's acceptance of her kids were that they weren't real. She finally accepted that what she created wasn't real and she had to let go, right? But then she was shown that they are real, just in different universes. So it was almost like cutting the wound
Universe
open
eye.
and then literally okay. And in literally, quote, every other universe, end quote, she has her kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what propels her to, she kind of just took the Darkhold bait, if that makes sense, of that. I thought there were, like, one thing I will add to Dave's point is I did think that they did have a little bit too many extremes. Like, literally every other universe, Wanda has her kids. Literally every other one, from what it sounded like. That we saw.
I mean, we actually didn't see very many universes. We only saw
didn't we?
So
3.
when the Darkhold is like being displayed and you can see like all the
it's like a
different, you can
glimpse.
see, it can glimpse into every single one of them that I could see in that short time. There were like 5 or 10 had her kids in them.
Well, that's only 5 or 10. I don't. I mean,
but I mean, my point is that it felt very. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a point, like when you have something that's like, oh, every single other universe except mine has a kids. It's like, okay, really? Like,
yeah, I mean, that could also too be like the Darkhold just projecting.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
She wants to see. You know what I mean? Like,
that's where I thought it was going to go, and I thought that would have been really smart. But no, I guess like all the other universes, she just has her kids.
This is kind
because
of like
big point of her motivation was to protect the kids and jump universes and. Yeah. Anyway,
this kind of goes off a little bit what you're saying, Will, though. But I thought the movie, so other than like the one long jump, kind of at closer to the beginning where they go through all of them and they become paint and all that, not many universes in the movie were actually like visited or explored or really seen. The one they were in the longest, where they have the Illuminati and all that, I thought it was actually too similar to like Earth 616 or Earth Prime or whatever it's called. So like I kind of agree with some of what you're saying about like some of the things there's not enough variation in the universes. There are other universes out there because, you know, that's how the thing works, is that there's an infinite amount of universes where infinite amount of things are happening differently. But the one we got in this movie, which is called Multiverse of Madness, we get primarily spending most of our time in this other universe that's fairly similar to the universe we already see. And like I think I wanted more differences, or at least more like visiting more crazy universes.
Well, yeah,
in
and
the
a movie called Multiverse of Madness.
Yes,
you would think that they would.
I thought the title of the
with
film was
that.
not justified at all in that regard, because the universe we spend the most of the time in, it wasn't that crazy. It didn't seem like it was full of. I think a lot of the horror just came from the way the movie itself was shot, and some of the, like the characters and creatures we see. Yes,
it's surprisingly grounded. Yeah. As a like, oh, crazy alternate universe movie, it's like, okay, it's so focused on maybe one or two universes, maybe 3 if you count the destroyed one, which I find odd as well for the name. But
well, yeah, and it's not like there was no excuse for them not to be able to like visit multiple. One of the characters is literally like a universe
jumper.
yeah.
So yeah, that was one of my kind of disappointments with the movie, because that scene where they'd go through like 10 or whatever, they do look cool and like unique and different.
I was kind of hoping like that there would be like a final fight where they just keep jumping universes, if that makes sense.
That would have been cool.
Like it would make sense in the context of you can keep the story grounded, but with the fight scene, it's kind of that's where you get your crazy fix of different universes that everybody wants.
Yeah. The movie seemed much more personal in terms of like the ending conflict with Wanda and I guess technically herself. So it was a much smaller kind of climax to the movie.
Yeah, I do want to like touch though on what you said earlier. Like Wanda's character development through the MCU is, I think, probably my favorite. Like, because she was one of my favorites, one of my favorite Avengers in Phase 3. And then we got WandaVision, and I felt even like more like connected to her character and more like sympathetic for her loss of her children, even though they weren't even real. You know, they were just projected.
Yeah.
And even at the end when we saw her floating, reading the Darkhold, I still didn't think, like you said, that she would be like the main villain in this movie. Maybe that's just me. Maybe like I just kind of didn't want to believe it going in, and then seeing her at the beginning and Doctor Strange is like, oh, we need your help, and like she's projected this like perfect world around her. She's, I think, like in an apple orchard or something, and then like he can see right through it, and so she like takes like the cloak off, you could say, and like that's when you realize like, oh, the Darkhold like totally changed her.
Yeah,
I don't know. I liked her as a villain.
Yeah,
like
I
really,
thought she was good.
I mean, she's not always a hero in the comics either. She's a villain at points. Am I correct?
She hasn't
in that,
always
Michael?
been a hero, even in the MCU.
Yeah.
I mean, she started out
Yeah.
as a villain of the Avengers. So
Yeah, but it's hard because the movie itself that she started off in is like, it's pretty predictable that she was going to be the villain and then turn good, if that makes sense. So I guess I don't count that.
Came out of nowhere. Yeah, in the comics, there's a lot more than that, and she's like Magneto's daughter in the comics too.
Yeah,
which, if you don't know, Magneto's a villain.
wait, what?
controls metal
Like a big magnet.
Like a big Magneto.
I've heard people call him Magneto.
That's just wrong.
That'd make me mad.
It's weird. Well, because they're like, you don't say magnet, you say magnet.
That bothers me.
Yeah, no.
It's a bad argument.
Did you guys like? Were you guys ready to talk about like the ending? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, yeah, I'm down.
I just had some more general, like, I would say I probably wasn't, like, especially compared to the rest of you, I really wasn't actually a big fan of the movie. I thought,
really?
Yeah. I
scared
thought
Dave.
a lot of the dialogue was, like, pretty clunky or awkward.
I love you in every universe.
Especially, like, a lot of the key scenes where there's, like, important dialogue. It sometimes made it hard to tell if, like, the writing was bad or if the acting was bad. I would fall more that it was probably the script, because I was trying to like picture myself like, how could this be said where it like doesn't sound awkward, and I was like, I think it's impossible. So I think
like what was an example?
There was just a lot of like weird expository scenes where it's just like people, like, I don't know, there's just too much awkward talking. I don't have like a specific quote. I'd have to like look one up. But there was like too many moments in the movie where I
Gotcha.
I just was not like really a fan of. I don't know. There's one I guess at the very end, maybe there's something important I missed, but like they're standing there, like Zombie Strange is there, and I think the book fades, and Strange says like, oh gosh, what was it? He's like, oh, she destroyed it in every multiverse. Yes, like that. It's like there's a couple things where it's like, well, first of all, how did he know that? Second of all, like it's just such a weird way to like present that to us. Like, why didn't they show that happening? I feel like that would have been way cooler than like us not knowing it happens, and the only way we know. The only way we know.
I thought it was pausing.
Is that
I think we're glitching out.
Looked.
Dave froze on our end.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's like mid sentence.
I've been talking though, so
that was my what? That was my what?
It's been recording me, so everything I'm saying is fine.
A long pause.
Can you guys still hear me?
Guess we'll just kind of
It's okay, Dave. Take your time.
wait.
Okay, I guess they can't.
The words will come.
This
to
is a
you.
perfect water break.
I guess they can't hear me. All right, so we had a bit of a technical issue. So if I'm repeating anything that you already heard, I apologize. But we were talking about the Doctor Strange scene with him basically knowing that the Darkhold was destroyed in every universe. Which, as I was watching that, I was like, well, how did he know that's what happened? And if that's what happened, why is he just saying that out loud to us, like the audience? Like, it would have been way cooler to somehow show that. Like, it made it like not a very satisfying conclusion to something that was such a powerful object. So like that, I guess, is an example I have. I think there were a lot of other just like weird clunky scenes with like just weird dialogue. I don't know if it was direction as much as it was the script, but I would probably fall back on that it was probably more the writing that I had problems with for so many important scenes in the movie.
You already said that.
Yes.
I kind of agree with you, Dave, in that the script isn't the strongest at times, and a lot of it is it felt very cheesy horror movie, but that's kind of why I liked it. It's
I feel
kind
like
of
a lot of that might have been on purpose too, because that's Sam Raimi style.
Well, there were some of the
Yeah,
cheesy horror elements that I did like, that I was a fan of, like
Right.
Zombie Strange. I really liked that. I thought that was really quirky and really creative. So like I really was a fan of that. That I thought was really fun. And
Did you like his ghoul flying cape thing?
Yes, I thought that was really cool. But then there's certain things that like I had problems with it. Like at the end is kind of just resolved in like, my magic is now stronger than your magic, where most of the movie it's and this is a problem that a lot of superhero movies have, but we've kind of established that Wanda is like extremely powerful, and at the end she's just like, she's put into like the magic circle like really quickly, and it's like no problem, when like, I don't know, it's just I was not a huge fan of the movie, but I did like Zombie Strange. I thought he was kind of cool, although he had some like emotional scenes that I think like his rotted face kind of took away from. So like I think maybe if just his face was a little less
Rotted.
like funny
Decomposed.
looking, I think it actually could have helped the end of the movie be like a little more emotional. But it was just too funny, like seeing him talking, like being really heartfelt through the zombie, which you know, I mean, if they were going for like funny cheesy ending, then I would say they attained
Nailed
that
it.
for me, I guess.
Yeah, here's the thing, Dave. Like, I agree with you in a lot of ways, but I think where I disagree with you the strongest, in that I don't like those faults are almost excused by the tone and the uniqueness of the movie. I don't go to this movie to critique, well, this line of dialogue doesn't make sense and it bothers me. It's like, yeah, I would agree with you that it doesn't make sense, but this is such a unique movie in that I'm not sure I would hold it against it because it's bad. I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
I think that makes sense. To me, there were too many lines like that like all added up together, instead of like having a weird line like fit in with the rest of the tone of the movie. It just, to me, felt like too many bad lines and too many bad portions of dialogue, that instead of me comparing like a quirky line of dialogue to like a quirky movie, it was me comparing a bad line of dialogue to lots of other bad lines of dialogue I had heard previously in the film. So
that's also fair,
and that's just different like perceptions and going into the movie too, like what we were expecting or wanting from the movie. So I mean that's understandable.
I kind of came into the movie not really expecting a lot other than like a few cool cameos, and that's about it. And that's exactly what I got. And I actually got a really cool kind of horror movie that is different than anything else that I've ever seen. So
I did really like the horror elements. I thought the horror elements were by far the strongest part of the movie. I loved a lot of like the visual kind of horror we got, and like the visual themes, kind of the macabre setting, especially like at the end where there's the three-eyed strange in the destroyed sanctum,
and the musical fight that was so cool.
That I thought was really cool. That was probably my favorite part of the whole movie. I thought that was extremely creative and really cool. Like that, and then like the other horror elements of the movie, like I wanted more of that. I think they should have gone more all in as like almost like a full horror movie, if that makes any sense. Some of you may feel that like it felt like that. I felt like it was kind of too much of like a weird amalgamation of like superhero and horror. And I don't know. I feel like you can have like 100% horror superhero movie, and this to me did not feel like that.
Yeah, they probably looked at it like,
and that could have been like
we
studio.
got to make sure at least some of the audience are normal.
The studio's job is trying to make the movie accessible for like as many people as possible. So even though that probably would have bettered the movie itself, it would have hurt
the general public consensus, quote unquote.
That's why I'd want you guys to see Evil Dead 2 in particular. Also Army of Darkness,
Groovy.
But especially Evil Dead 2, because it's a really cheesy horror movie, but it's like a full, like, it's a horror movie. It's really fun, and I think if you see that movie, you can like I think if you see that movie, it'll actually make you appreciate this movie more. Multiverse of Madness, like
Doesn't
just
seem
like
it made you
the
appreciate
wink,
it more.
like the wink from Zombie Strange, like that was like straight up like Sam Raimi, Evil Dead 2, like so I liked that. I thought that was like funny.
I also loved Bruce Campbell's.
Yes, yeah, Bruce Campbell. Like when he was, I was like, oh yeah, Bruce
Anybody want
Campbell,
some
baby.
pizza balls?
So
Yeah, basically the whole movie, I was like, when's the Bruce Campbell?
Yeah.
When's the Bruce Campbell cameo? When's it coming?
So there were things I really liked about the movie. There was just like overall, I had too many problems with it. I thought Chavez was like, I thought she was kind of like a flawed character.
I didn't think her acting was that good either.
I thought it was okay. I thought there was too many weird scenes with her and like her trust with Strange. It was too much like too much like a flip of a switch. Like it didn't seem like a justified change in her. I thought there was like a neat character buried somewhere in there. But I think the writing around her, and again, I think she had too many like clunky dialogue. Her writing, I think, was too clunky. That made it hard for me to appreciate her character. But I think there's a cool character somewhere in there, and maybe we'll see her in the future with a different writer or something. But
here's the thing: this movie has the exact same problems that Loki has. And do you know why that is? Because they have the same exact writer. Writer of Loki also wrote Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
But I liked Loki.
But it also it has pacing issues. It has character issues. And even though the concept's really cool and it does some cool stuff, it doesn't resolve it's kind of a rough journey. And I think that can be said with the same thing with the Multiverse of Madness. I think Multiverse of Madness has the leg up when it comes to direction. And that's what kind of made... And I like Loki too. I just think that Loki has a lot of faults in that it's only 6 episodes.
At least Strange didn't make out with himself.
That is true.
Now I still have 1 episode of Loki. So
Really? You haven't finished Loki?
no,
Oh,
I've been really busy.
I mean,
Dave.
well, the last episode of Loki, I mean, I would watch it.
Not much happens.
Not a lot happens. It's one long conversation.
I'm
basically.
still going to watch. I'm probably going to watch it tonight.
Yeah, I would. It's a good show. It's just things happen fast, and I'm not sold on certain characters. And Dave, I would agree with you with a lot of your points, but I think that, as I said earlier, Sam Raimi, his style almost makes up for the faults. Rather than with Loki, there wasn't. It was just MCU. It wasn't Sam Raimi. It was just MCU, and so it makes it a little more susceptible to the critiques that it deserves.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree, Michael, but
I agree. I wasn't a fan of Loki, so
yeah. I mean, I did like Loki. I like. I'm a sucker for sci-fi, and I'm a sucker for kind of worlds and
Me too.
stuff like that. And I thought Loki's atmosphere and Loki's kind of style almost was also really cool, but not in a direction sense, more of just a general world building. So TVA is super cool.
wow.
Wow. Jet ski.
When you guys were in jet skis. When you guys were in theaters, did you see the preview for Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, but I've seen that on YouTube.
Yes, I saw it.
So at the end of the one that I saw in
You're about
theaters,
to spoil Thor stuff for me, Colby?
have you not seen the preview? Do you not want me to talk about it?
I think I saw it.
I'm just going to talk about it. At the end of this preview in theaters, I saw, you see Jane, like Natalie Portman's character. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I don't think that was in the trailer that I saw the first time.
Well, she was confirmed like a long time ago.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
like
I'm just saying, like,
second or third person, right? That was
Yeah.
well, like I knew she was in it, but like I hadn't seen her yet. And then, so I don't know. Watching that trailer, like I'm watching it, I'm like, I'm not really excited for this. And then the last scene that they show is like Thor walking up on her, and it just kind of like, I don't know, made me excited to see it.
Actually, technically, what happens? Thor doesn't walk up on her. The hammer flies into Natalie Portman's hands.
Okay.
And Thor looks very surprised, and it shows
And
Natalie
then it
Portman's.
shows a buff Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
In fact, Thor doesn't walk at all.
Yeah.
He just looks at her.
Yeah.
actually it wasn't Thor. It was Loki in disguise.
Technically.
The thing that I'm most excited about that movie is just like I want to know what Christian Bale's character is going to be like.
I'm really excited for Russell Crowe
As Zeus.
as Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
when he gets the lightning, like that
Lightning
single
bolt.
shot of like him getting the lightning bolt in his hands and the crowd going wild.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I,
So yeah, Multiverse of Madness. Oh, go ahead.
I have to go to the bathroom really bad, so I'll be right back.
Oh my!
Perfect time for a
gosh.
You
water
guys
break.
can keep talking or have a water break.
Let's talk about the
Let's talk
end
about how
credits.
unprofessional
like the
that
mid-credit
was.
scene of Multiverse of Madness, the one where the
Okay, so-
Charlize Theron shows up.
Okay. I didn't know who that was,
Me either. I was like,
Um,
oh, she's cool.
but she. What did she say? Like, hey, let's go to this universe.
She said that what's the thing where it's like a devastation event or whatever.
Oh, Nexus event.
No, it's where the world. It was like Krasinski, Reed Richards was explaining it to Steven, where if one person's in a universe for too long, it starts collapsing.
Oh, I don't remember.
There's a word for it, but she basically says that you started this in another universe. Are you going to come and fix it? And Doctor Strange is like, I'm ready. Then the eye just pops open, and then the guitar plays, and they go into the portal together. And apparently, she is like the daughter of what's his? I've come to bargain, dude.
Oh,
Dormammu.
Dormammu. Yeah, she's the daughter of Dormammu.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And she's the love interest of Doctor Strange.
The portal opened, and you could see like it was the same.
It is the
realm
dark
as
realm.
the
Yeah,
dark realm.
Mhm.
yeah. So she's like in the comics, she's Doctor Strange's new love interest
That's
after
right.
whatever McAdams.
Dormammu, I've come to ask your daughter for hand in marriage. Dormammu, I've come to ask her.
What are you doing? Stop!
One thing I forgot to talk about was what did you guys think of like the Scarlet Witch's fight scene against Captain Marvel?
Oh,
Captain Marvel or
Captain Carter.
Not Captain Carter, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
It went pretty fast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is like
The fact
Captain
that-
Marvel is supposed to be the most like powerful being in like the universe,
Yeah, I get
and then
like
the Scarlet Witch just
crushed
dunks on her
with. Well, the fact that she
in like
supposedly
3 minutes.
supposedly dies just by being crushed by a statue was kind of. It didn't really line up with everything that we've seen from those type of superpowers before. So.
Right. So did like once she got a hold of the Darkhold, like the Scarlet Witch is now like the most powerful being in the universe.
I mean, in the
Probably.
comics, she is very like
She's
OP.
a top 5 power, right?
She's very OP.
She's like top 5.
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
I mean, she has all the power to be like, there's no more mutants, and then all the mutants disappear. I think she's like a Nexus being, is what she's classified as.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back, Dave.
And also, what's his name?
What else
in
is
the
a
comics?
Nexus being?
There's a lot of Nexus.
Franklin
beings.
Richards, right?
What?
Reed Richards' son. Is it
Oh,
Franklin?
yeah.
He's also a Nexus being.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we were just talking about the end credit scene with Charlize Theron.
Was she some witch or something?
She's like Dormammu's daughter or something like that.
Love
I think.
interest of
Love
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange. I looked it
What
up,
about
I'm like,
Christine?
I have no idea who that is.
We're not supposed to be together.
Well, even though Doctor Strange loves her in every universe.
That was definitely like a trying to one up the "I love you" 3000.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it felt like.
Yeah. Like, okay, every universe.
Alrighty.
So
Yeah, and you
generic.
also don't work out in every universe.
Yeah, he might as well. He might as well have said, "I love you 3001." It was like cheesy. And
No. 3,000 plus 1. Like you literally say the plus 1.
Yeah. So that was Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Wow.
Wow.
Final ratings? Or what are you going to say?
I would give it like a 7.9.
Yeah, I probably give it 1.5 thumbs up.
This is a weird movie. Because
Are we all have to use
Screw you,
different.
Colby.
We all have to use different.
How many stars, Will?
I'd say 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Dave?
I'm okay. You did
How many
out of 10. You did thumbs
check
up.
marks?
You did out of 5 stars. Wait, how many?
Give it.
Out of 100.
I would probably
Yeah.
give it.
Out of
I'd probably
100.
give it 2 out of 7 Landon heads.
I feel
What?
I feel like 1 is like the best because like the more Landon's. Like, the
Oh, okay.
worse.
5 out of 7 Landon heads.
Dang, you really hated this movie.
I didn't hate it. I just there was too much.
You didn't hate it, but you scored it based on Landon heads. Okay.
I want us to make a new rating system.
We could do Landon heads.
Yeah, so
I'm not going to do that.
I'm never
no,
gonna
but
do a
it's
Landon
the
head.
more Landon heads we have, the worse it is, right? Is that what Colby was getting at?
Yeah, he's never
Okay.
going to hear this, so it won't get to his head if we don't talk about
Which
it
one?
outside
His
of the
7
show.
Landon heads.
But like I feel like if we make a ranking system based on him, like it's going to go straight to his ego.
Straight to his head.
So I was trying to avoid that.
Choose it. Yeah.
Anyway, what's the next MCU movie coming up?
Thor in July.
Thor in July.
Then Black Panther.
I think that got pushed.
I might have gotten pushed.
I think that got pushed.
Bombay.
I am excited for Thor because I really like Taika Waititi.
Bloody dishes.
Yes.
No, it's still November.
It'll get pushed.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. Did you guys watch the gameplay footage of Gotham Knights?
Nope. I did a little bit and I clicked away because I didn't like how it looked.
I just saw some at the right before we started recording because you had mentioned it. So I saw, was it Red Hood and Nightwing?
Red Hood and Nightwing
bouncing
yeah.
around, fighting people.
Yeah.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think overall the game looks interesting. I feel like the person playing the game was doing a really bad job. Like if you go back and actually watch him like going through moves and stuff and like trying to take down people, he doesn't do very good. And I feel like when you normally see like people playing through a game like that, they're like doing really well and they're, like almost masters at the game. But there were like multiple times where it was like, is this person like
Bad?
picking this up for the first time? Like they don't look like they're very good,
It's
but
probably some poor intern that's not being paid for it. Like,
probably.
it's just like, oh yeah, just play the game. It's fine. We'll just make a video out of it.
You were going to say something else.
Oh yeah. I saw a screenshot of a picture of the pause menu that showed all the different stats and gear, and
Yeah.
it kind of turned me off from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just
How
because
come?
it's like it looked exactly like something you'd see out of Avengers or Destiny or it's a live service game is what it is.
Oh, it is?
And it is.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. I'm like
Mick?
I haven't.
Is it?
Is it a live service game like in the?
So you don't believe Will? So
No, it's just...
I'm
No,
not
I just know
confident
Mick
that
has
it
done
is.
more
I
research
think
on the
it's.
game.
I think it's similar. I can't remember why, but some people were saying it's different, but it's similar. I mean, if it is like that, that would be kind of disappointing because I'm not a big fan of those type of games.
Yeah, and what's disappointing about that too is isn't Suicide Squad also in that same vein? Is it's a live service game?
I don't know. I don't know much about the game other than I'm really not interested in it.
I thought Suicide Squad was being made by their Prime studio, right?
It's
It
being
is.
made by Rocksteady.
And you're not excited about it?
Everything I've seen about the game, it doesn't look
Oh,
interesting
okay.
to me.
It looks very much more action oriented, and from what I've seen of the game, it's very around. It's like a beat 'em up almost, rather than like a smart tactical combat of like the Arkham games, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it seems more like.
Like in the Arkham games, you can like beat like 100 guys up if you're really good, but it always rewarded you for taking down enemies with stealth and being creative with how you use your gadgets, and it made it really cool. And also, my favorite part of the Arkham games is the story and the world around you. So
Yeah.
and with Suicide Squad, it's just like it's
Technically, the Suicide Squad is in the same Arkham universe.
yeah, but I'm talking
But-
like the villains of
Yeah.
of Batman and the mystery storylines and the overarching story that is pretty good in all three games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
4 technically if you count Origins, but
I do. I liked Arkham Origins.
yeah, it's all right. I haven't played in a long time.
I thought it was pretty good.
But yeah, Gotham Knights not super excited about. There's not a lot of games I'm actually excited about coming out. It's pretty sad.
I'm still hopeful for Gotham Knights. I hope that they just announced too with this gameplay footage that they're not releasing it on past gen. It'll just be current gen.
Which will help the game, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, hopefully, it just goes towards making the game as good as possible.
Yeah. There's been a lot of delays recently too, which makes me sad.
There have been.
I know Starfield got delayed, then Breath of the Wild got delayed, and it's like there's nothing coming out that we know of that's super exciting.
Yeah, not really.
We just have to play old games, Will.
I feel like I have no games to play at the moment.
I can't like dive into Like I can't buy new games. I have to dive into my 50 game backlog. It's terrible.
You can start playing. You can start playing Witcher 3 again.
I could, yeah. I actually do really want to play that game again.
I've been replaying it on PC.
It's hard to pick up games that you haven't played in a long time, though.
That is true.
So it's hard to like get back into the swing of things.
I've been playing.
Yeah,
it,
I'm
though.
often unmotivated to try get back into it.
Yeah,
I started back up because I was reading the books, and so I was wanting to like it was really making me want to go back and play the game again. So I reinstalled it on my PC and then started a new save. But man, I love that game so much. I wish I could have figured out how to get Mick to like the game, because I think if he got far enough that he could actually like really enjoy it.
Me.
Did you play it on like a
know.
harder difficulty or something? Like if you just put it on the easiest difficulty,
I think I put it on the easiest difficulty. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
if there's one thing I hate about that game, it's the combat. I hate the combat.
I think that's what I didn't like. Like the combat to me just was.
What do you not like about the combat?
it feels so it's like it feels so standard. I have to dodge. I have to I have my spells. It's action. Like I'd rather it be unique. I know that there's some cool stuff with like the spells and the different swords. But it feels like I was rewarded most for just dodging perfectly or parrying perfectly, and I felt it hard to parry because I couldn't see the attacks being super choreographed all the time. Like in Ghost of Tsushima, it's really easy to parry, which makes the game super easy, but it's also kind of fun to feel like a complete
rewarding
monster.
Yeah.
Like as you slaughtered like Mongols all over the place. But with Witcher 3, it felt like I didn't know when to parry. I didn't know when to dodge very well. I felt like I was always getting hit.
Oh, dude, that would piss me off.
Yeah,
I don't like hard combat.
It felt really difficult, and it had a really steep learning curve. And maybe this is more my fault. I did enjoy it the longer I went on, but it felt like I was doing the same things over and again to kind of cheese the fights. Like I would cast the defensive spell and then change to the fire, and then I'd roll around do one hit, and then roll around more, and then do another hit, and then roll around, and then maybe shoot fire, and then roll around, and then do another hit.
That's not how I play the game.
Things over and over again. And maybe this is more of me that I'm just bad at the game, and that's the only way I can figure out how to win. So I don't know. That was just kind of my general complaint with the game.
Because I like the dialogue. I like the combat.
I love the dialogue.
I felt like the combat to me is similar to like I think standard is like an okay way to put it. Because you have like a hard attack, like a fast attack and a strong attack. You can dodge, or you can parry, or you can roll, and then you have your magic you can use. But you also have like a crossbow. You have potions. You have decoctions and bombs and stuff. And
the coolest part of the thing is like the decoctions and the potions. I never felt like I was consistently maybe I didn't get far enough into the game. I never felt like I was consistently using all the tools at my disposal, and it was difficult. And I didn't get to the point where I was more interested in the story I was more interested in the story than the combat, but I never felt like I was being consistently rewarded with the story. It kind of the game has sort of a slow start, especially if you've played it before. And so I think I was finally getting to that point of reaching that point where I was like, okay, I'm going forward with the story. Mm-hmm. But I think another game came out, and then I stopped playing. The Lure of New, yeah. So I really do need to go back and play it because it's a really interesting game.
The story, because I like the combat, I think it's really fun, and if you play on harder difficulties, it's more rewarding to use the decoctions and stuff, because it you feel a noticeable gain of strength that you would, or the oil on your sword, you feel the impact of those, which makes it feel like your choices are more important instead of just, I'm just going to go into this fight and then just dodge and hit and dodge and hit and dodge and hit. But the story in particular is what I thought was my favorite part about the game, and the amount of choices you can make and how it impacts the the politics of the world, and then basically how you can end up deciding who, what nation is ruling and who's ruling those nations and stuff. It's just, yeah. I wish there's a way I could get Mick to like the game, because
yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But I really like the books too. So I finished the second book. The first two are all short stories, for the most part. So you can it's not just one novel, and it kind of jumps around in time. So there's enough variation in what's happening, and you kind of get some cool glimpses into into Geralt and what he's like as a character. Plus, if you've seen the Netflix show, a lot of the first season is from like straight from the first book. So
when were the books written?
They were the early 90s. It was like pretty much most of the 90s. I think it was like 90 through 98 or something, but it was a Polish guy that wrote these, and then they were translated later into English. So like the most recent one I think was only translated in 2017 or something. So yeah.
Has he done anything else or just the Witcher stuff?
I think it's been primarily Witcher, but I think he has written some other things. Yeah, but cool. he wrote like 8 or 9 books, so I read the first 2, and I think the rest of them, I ordered the rest of them because I had got the first 2 from the library, and I liked them so much, so I just bought the box set on Amazon. So I think they're sitting on my doorstep right now, so I'll pick them up after we're done recording.
Wow. I always love it when stuff gets delivered, and you're just waiting.
It's like
to open it.
It's like mini Christmas.
It's mini Christmas. It is. I love it, especially if it's like a collector's edition of some game that I've been looking forward to for so long, and it's at your doorstep, and then you open the box.
You open the door, and you're like,
and you have the special edition.
Finally came,
the big one. What is it?
Well, I just reread Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Did you guys ever read that?
It's a good book.
Yes, it was a long time ago, but.
Yeah.
I did not read those.
I really liked that original series, that first 5 books that were made. I actually really liked them. I wasn't a big fan of the next series, and I never read the series after that. So there's 3 series, right?
I think I only read through the first book, and then watched the terrible movie adaptation.
You should read. There's like the Sea of Monsters, the Labyrinth, the Last Olympian, and then there's one more.
The Lightning Thief? Is that the one?
The Lightning Thief is the first one, and then the Sea of Monsters, and then there's a third one, the Titan's Curse, I think it is, and then the Labyrinth, and then Titan's Curse is probably my favorite. But the last one, my favorite, or not my second favorite, is the Last Olympian. So they're all pretty good.
Yeah, I was just getting tired of
reading Harry Potter.
Going through Harry Potter like over and over again.
Mick,
so
you can
you can read
try things that you haven't read before.
No,
like I can give you recommendations if you want like a young adult kind of novel. Like Brandon Sanderson has a really good sci-fi young adult novel. If you really want to get into that,
what's it called?
It's Skyward.
Skyward?
Yeah, it's really good.
It reminds me of Star Wars Episode 8.
I'm reading Catch-22 right now, so
Dave was like, "Stay here."
Mick, you watched the
Dave sees that we're heading right for the iceberg.
Mick, you watched the Hulu show, didn't you? Catch-22.
Too bad this podcast is the Titanic. It's too late.
Didn't the ships come out of a giant iceberg in episode 9?
Oh no!
Basically.
Yes, I watched Catch-22 on Hulu.
Did you like that?
I did too.
Okay, so
it was really good.
So you could try the book. So I'm reading the book right now, and then I'm going to watch the show. But
no thanks.
So far, I've liked the book. It's very funny. So I imagine the show is probably also very funny.
Do you primarily read, or do you listen to audiobooks?
I don't listen to audiobooks. So I only read. If I'm listening to something, I like to listen to podcasts. But I've tried to do audiobooks, and I've tried to read ebooks, and I cannot read books on my phone. I just can't do it. I need like
that crisp.
You need a
like
tablet.
pages. No.
You just need a bigger screen.
Yeah.
No, I have a hard time focusing if I'm reading on the phone. Like I get like it's weird because I'm doing the same thing as I am reading a book, but like I can't focus as well, and then I feel like I get bored more quickly if I'm reading like an ebook, because I had the first Witcher book on my phone, and I wasn't able to read it. I wasn't reading it, so I went to the library and got the book, and then I just went through the book so fast. But certain mediums like I just have a hard time with. So
your brain was like you're holding your phone.
Yeah, phone is meant to do something for 2 minutes, and then phone is meant to do something for 2 minutes, and then do something else for 2 minutes, and then so it's like. Yeah, I had to like remove myself from that. That's one reason I took the break from like certain electronic stuff for that month, so that I could try to focus more on reading.
You don't have to justify your sins, Dave.
And you don't have to act superior to us.
It has nothing to no. It's
What Mick? Do you listen to audiobooks or?
I do. So my job, I'm either driving or I'm delivering stuff. So I basically have a headphone in the whole day. So I'll just listen to either podcasts or music or audiobooks. So yeah, just last week I finished The Lightning Thief, so probably move on to book 2. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah.
How's
I
Heart
don't
of
really
Darkness,
listen to-
Colby?
I haven't been reading it,
Oh.
so maybe I will today though. I don't know.
You could wait till Colby Day and force everyone to read it with you.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
I,
I think
will
I
force,
read that.
I'll force somebody to.
I think I read that
read
in
it
high
to me.
school.
We rent out at like a church, and Cole goes to like the front,
The
you know,
pulpit.
where the pastor is, the pulpit,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Chapter 1."
Yeah, I think I read that book in high school, so I don't want to go through that book again.
Sometimes
Some high school books are bangers,
yeah.
but some of them are just bad.
Yeah,
I feel like the only book I liked in high school was Great Expectations.
never.
Never read it.
We talked about
Pip.
high school books a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
I don't know.
I don't know. Did we?
I thought we did. I feel like this conversation's familiar.
It is.
Could also just
It
be
is
like
familiar.
the simulation like glitching out or something.
The
No.
Matrix, you know,
This
the
Universe is going through each other.
the black cat's going around the corner.
Because I think I said I didn't read like those kind of books, so that's why I'm reading them now.
Did you say that?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
Colby, do
He-
you remember that?
Yeah, because you were saying something about Fahrenheit, right?
Yep. All the dystopian novels that I didn't get to read, so I read them. as an
You reading
adult.
The Giver?
Nope.
Oh gosh,
Dude,
That's a
The
young.
Gi-
That's,
The
that's a
Giver-
young adult book, isn't it?
that movie was.
You
The
can
Giver gets a thumbs down.
two
from me.
thumbs down.
Two
Two thumbs down. 7 Landon heads. 0 stars.
What's the Giver?
So I think
All I know is it's a young adult novel that won some award in 1990 or something. 93.
Yeah, it was a participation award.
Were you guys there when we watched the movie?
I was forced to watch the movie after we actually.
Was it Ben that was like, "Hey, we should watch this movie"?
Oh, probably. I was forced to watch it in high school or no middle school.
I did not watch it in middle school. I read it in middle school.
No, they tried to get me to read the book in middle school, and I didn't.
So why don't you like it?
Rebelled and got a bad grade.
What's wrong with it?
It was boring.
Honestly, if I read it now, it'd probably be a pretty good book.
Dude,
but I
no,
did not enjoy it as an 8th grader. I think it was way too early for me to be reading, for anybody to be reading that book.
Was it just
Yeah.
like what was your problem with it, Will? Was
Well,
it
I think if I remember correctly, it was like it. Then again, it's been like what was I in 13? It's been 10 years since I've read the book, basically.
I'll never go back.
But from what I remember, it was indeed boring. The pace was not of a young adult pace. It was most of the characters having conversations the whole entire book.
Mhm.
And while it's probably a really good book,
it sounds like a Will book now. Like
it sounds like a Will book now. But a Will book when I was 13, no, not good. So, and then also it had some weird stuff where it has some weird kind of symbolism that doesn't click with 13-year-olds, I don't think, from what I remember.
I was 13. What do I have in common with this? You know what I mean? Like, why
It's
would
like this dystopian world where they don't see color or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember why.
It's all black and white, and
Yeah, and then like you can go to some place with color though. I don't know. I can't even honestly.
yeah, I can't tell you what it was because I didn't read the book. But
The hard part was that it was just boring to sit through, I think. And I think Colby's right. And this is going to make me sound like a dweeb, but I was a dweeb when I was 13.
but
so.
it
No,
won,
it was
but it
just
won the
boring, like-
Newbery Award.
See-
Will.
oh my gosh,
What? I
So
don't
it
even
had
know
that
what the
sticker
Newbery
on it
Award
that we all
is.
know on the front
it
of
had
the
that
book.
gold stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the Newbery Award? What is the Newbery Award?
It
Like-
basically what it
I've
means.
heard of the Nobel Peace Prize.
No, okay, stop
That's about it.
talking, Will.
no. Hey, if you keep talking, Gabe's gonna set up like some book award quiz next
No,
week.
no, it's a literary. It's just a literary award for
All right,
young.
we're going in
adult
order,
novels.
reverse alphabet, reverse year, from least important to most important.
Oh yeah, our Department of the Interior quiz will have to wait till next week, unfortunately. No, the Newbery.
You want to save it for Landon?
Yes, I do want to save it for Landon. It's given
Okay,
to young
that's
adult
fair,
books,
that's
so
fair.
like, gosh,
I would rather do a young adult book quiz than like that would hit.
like
I
Johnny
think that would hit
Tremaine won it in 44. What is that book?
1944.
Yes, Will. The Westing Game.
1744.
Won it. The Bronze Bow, A Wrinkle in Time. Any of these sound familiar to you guys?
That was a great movie. No,
With Oprah?
Wait, well, who else was in that?
Mrs. Frisbee
Oprah.
and the Rats of
Was
Nim.
it Anne Hathaway? Hold
Bridge
on.
to
Now,
don't
Terabithia.
know.
Reese Witherspoon was in there.
I think I share a birthday with Reese Witherspoon. Do you think we?
Does she have a day?
Wrinkle.
Yeah, we're gonna
Reese's
Colby and
Day.
Reese Day.
Oh,
You jealous?
I am a little bit.
Oh,
So I was looking at The Giver on IMDb. I was scrolling through the actors, and one of them is Alexander Skarsgård. His profile picture for IMDb is him at like a red carpet event, and he's wearing a tuxedo, except he doesn't have any pants on. so it's just him, tuxedo top, socks with like the sock holder up device thing, and no pants.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really funny. I should take advice from him about my IMDb picture. Okay. Any other books?
Mick, do you remember the book From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frank Weiler?
I think about it every day.
So this is a book I think we read when we were kids. But it's these two kids. They break into the museum. They run away from home, and they like live in the what is it? The Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. Do you remember that? They like hide in the bathroom, and then they like wash in the.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Do you remember that book?
I think so.
Okay. I remember really enjoying that as a kid. That one also won the Newbery Award. So, but I've not read that book recently.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have to try The Giver though, since you guys talked about it, and since I know nothing about it, or knew nothing about it, but now you guys gave it such a glowing review.
Just don't watch the movie.
I want you to not read it. Actually, if I could recommend one thing.
Well, David Day is that I do
Colby
everything
Day.
Colby doesn't want me to do.
That's fine. You can have David Day.
David Day is every day, Colby.
I know.
But I don't subject other people. I don't subject other people to it.
Yes, you do. Except for July 23rd, 2022. That is Colby Day. Mark it on your calendars. You guys should get an email here soon.
All the listeners are invited.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we're done. Thank you for listening.
Thank you,
everybody. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah.
Thank you for your time and patience.
Yeah, Dave, we appreciate you here at the podcast.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys at the
Thanks,
podcast.
I know we're all a part of the podcast, but like we just ourselves appreciate ourselves.
It's ourselves.
Our own
day.
members. We're not acting as an individual. We're separate within our individual.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Wow.
Bye, everybody.
Schmoopy doopy.
Ew.
Mooby booby.
I want to die. That was.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
I thought we already said bye. That's why I said I wanted to die.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hot+keys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hot+keys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.